Hello there, my name is Tom Scrollo and welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk all things trading, finances and money in general. Now this video is going to be the video number 3 of the 3 videos series about my net worth, about how I'm going to be making a lot of money, how much money I'm making right now, my current net worth, etc. So for the current net worth and the projections of the end of 2021 and what kind of things I'm doing and how much money I have in real estate, in cars, watches, cash, stocks, crypto, all of that, please refer back to the first video of these 3 videos and to the video that is one before this one. And in this particular video, let's talk about the projects that I'm working on, the projects that are gonna make this YouTube channel possible, and the projects that are gonna be fueling this YouTube channel and that are gonna potentially, hopefully, take me to $1 billion. That's right, you've heard me correct. This YouTube channel has a bunch of stuff, but it's dedicated in general as a whole to my journey from a few $1 million to $1 billion. So in this video, let's discuss exactly which projects are gonna make me how much money, what is gonna be launched when, what is gonna be the projection in terms of the potential value of those projects by the end of 2022. So pretty much in a year and a half, so within 18 months. And I'm setting this benchmark for myself and for your own entertainment as well as inspiration and hopefully as a fuel for you to move on in your life and do something exciting for yourself as well. So without any further ado, let's jump into the projects and the things and the projections and the goals for me for 2022 that, in my opinion, are more than achievable. And remember that I don't come from a rich family. I was raised by a single mother who saved up just a little bit of money to send me off into the United States, and we barely had any money for my living there, for any of my education. I started off, and there are many videos in this YouTube channel as well about how I was making $5,000 to $10,000 per month as a teenager in the States, speculating different goods. It was like 10 years ago, even more than that. So you can check it out as well. Now let's talk about something serious. So by 2022, number one, hopefully I'm gonna, the end of 2022, hopefully I'm gonna sell off all of my real estate that was mentioned in the first video and turn it into cash. So almost like $700,000. Hopefully I'll turn it into cash, not this dead weight real estate. Then also my Tom Scrollo main business right now, which is trading education, me teaching other people how to trade. That's what I've been doing for many years, like 7 years of active trading. And for the last 1 year, I haven't been doing any of it, almost. I've just done some long-term investments, including crypto, done quite okay in crypto. Many previous videos are about that as well. You can check that out. So I decided to move on and work on many different projects. The ones are going to be mentioned in this video, so stay till the end of the video. This was the main project that I wanted to do first. So to replace my income from active trading and from this ridiculous, insane of a job of super high risk, high stress type of trading and move into long-term investments, which of course is lower ROI, but less risk, and also invest a considerable amount of my personal capital into my own private equity. So into my own, in simple words, invest my own money into my own companies. And the first company that went and became successful was my trading education, which currently is making me roughly $125,000 a month and is currently valued at anywhere from $3.5 to $5 million, which is part of my net worth. The projection is that by the end of 2022, so within 18 months, it should be coming close to its max, something that would be potential, according to my marketing team and according to my own observations in terms of the growth of ad spend and the growth of this business in general. I think that the max could be roughly around $700,000 of net income per month. So obviously the revenue will be around $2 million per month at that stage. Revenue is not as important as the profit itself. Perhaps we could squeeze out 700,000 of profit from 1.5 million revenue. It really depends on the profit margin, how many more people we're going to be hiring as we go, the different types of advertisements and collaborations that we're going to be doing. Those are going to probably becoming more and more expensive as we progress, so the profit margin might drop a bit. So anyway, this is the projection by the end of 2022. The monthly income should max out at roughly $700,000 per month. So all we have to do is do pretty much like 5x of what it is right now, 5.5, which shouldn't be a problem. And perhaps we could get it to $1 million per month of my clean income after all expenses, taxes, etc. So if we get to 700,000 hopefully, and I'm pretty sure that we will by the end of 2022, then the annual net income of this business alone is going to be around $8.4 million per year. And the company value, and remember that company value of something like digital education, digital product, something high risk, not as tangible as real estate or physical factories and this kind of old school business. These kinds of businesses are not going to be valued at 10 years profit, usually as in real estate, for example. These kinds of businesses might be valued at the value of this business usually is going to be 3 to 4 years of its clean profit, sometimes less, sometimes a bit more, going to be its fair value. So if we're making, like I'm making $8.4 million per year, then its value is going to be estimated at like $29,400,000. So let's call it $30 million. It's going to be the value of university grade trading education as a product, as the copyright to the material and this whole mechanism that is making a lot of money. So that's the worth of this business. Then the next one is YouTube. So currently you're watching this YouTube channel and a lot of people are thinking, why do I need a YouTube channel? And as I said before, this is a part of a big plan of me getting to $1 billion. And a lot of people will say, okay, YouTube can be a good business, but how is this part of $1 billion plan? And the answer is very, very, very simple. It's not about the income from YouTube, which is also going to be quite good, which we're going to discuss in just a second. It's more about people. So when you have people right now in 2021, 22, in this era, people are the asset. So basically, the more people follow you, the more products you can create and generate revenue from those people. People become your fans, and you provide good value, good service, you help people out, you create interesting products. People buy those products, they enjoy them, and as long as you provide quality product, which Thomas Krallo is like Henkel in Germany. I mean, I am quality stamp on whatever I do. I either do something 100% or I don't do it at all. Then of course the YouTube channel, and certainly once we launch the hedge fund and the cryptocurrency that we're working on and a bunch of other stuff, just jumping a little bit ahead, we're going to go through all of my projects and everything we are already working on. Then even creating the hedge fund and dropping that initial investment requirement and taking it mainstream to United States, Europe, using 1 million subscribers on YouTube is going to generate millions potentially in assets under management, like a bunch of other YouTubers, the big ones, big names in real estate and investing. They sometimes have billions of dollars under management. So of course YouTube and social media isn't the only source of those funds, but it is a huge part nonetheless. And then of course it's worth noting that right now I have like 45,000 subscribers, which isn't very much. So I'm making like $2,000 a month on YouTube, which is pretty much spent on my video editing, professional, and hello Rainis. And pretty much that's where the money is spent. It just goes directly towards editing these videos. But we are already step by step starting to boost every single video. So I'm actually investing money, just small money right now, but we're gonna take it to about $10,000 a month in terms of the budget for promoting my YouTube videos and therefore generating real, genuine subscribers and getting it to 1 million subscribers by the end of 2022. We were hoping to do it by the end of 21, but I'm skeptical of that. Maybe in the middle of the second quarter of 22 will reach 1 million subscribers. The goal is by the end of 2022 to have 1 million subscribers in YouTube and perhaps even Instagram as well. And that alone will generate at least around $30,000 to $40,000 of monthly income just from views themselves. Probably some collaborations, some advertisements of some worthy products, because even now I'm getting a lot of offers, but those offers are garbage of some garbage forex brokers, signal systems, robots, and all this crap that just does not work. I mean, it might work for a month or two, but in the end, you're just gonna lose even more than you made unless you're super lucky, which is not investing or trading, it's just bullshit and gambling. So anyway, YouTube, once we boost it to the level, to the desired level, that's gonna generate an annual income of around $400,000 to $500,000 per year. So that is not something we can record as net worth, obviously, so it's just annual net income. Now moving on to the new projects. And some of this stuff, a lot of this stuff was not disclosed before. A lot of people are thinking that I'm just selling my trading education. By the way, all the links to the best trading education in the world are down in the description. And a lot of people are thinking that there's nothing else I do. And I work a lot. I work many hours a day. It's pretty crazy. And now you'll understand exactly why. So I'm constantly improving my trading education, sustaining everything, working with my students, and we're currently working on, attention, 6 projects, each single one of which will be pretty close, at least pretty close to the magnitude of my current trading education project. So let that sink in for a second. It's gonna be a lot of zeros on the end of my net worth by the end of 2022. So one of the new projects, number one, is going to be the launch of another learning program, another course, so to speak, and along with my production company. So I have a team of people whom I'm already working with, and we're gonna be doing a lot of awesome things for people who are gonna be interested in getting produced in certain areas of digital products and certain areas of globalization, so to speak. So I'm not going to give out too many details, but as these projects are going to be announced, they're going to become live, then of course all the full descriptions will be out. So just right now I don't want to give out too much of information. But yeah, again, so it's going to be a separate learning program. It's going to be a really strong piece of information for anybody who wants to capitalize on their knowledge, so to speak, just a small teaser. And it's gonna be awesome. I mean, it's gonna be really powerful. And it's gonna be a production company as well, so we're gonna be taking certain individuals, producing them for a certain stake in their company, which is an amazing big business. Projected income by the end of 2020 of this project, and this project is gonna launch this year. So it's gonna have more than a year to develop and to reach this projection that I'm gonna announce, which is more than possible. And the projected income by the end of 2020 of this project, the new educational material plus the production company, is projected to reach around $6 million yearly. So roughly $500,000 of extra income for me into my pocket. And the projected, obviously, worth of this business as a whole, using the same analogy and the same algorithm and calculation, would be around $26.25 million. So $26 million is going to be the worth of this particular project by the end of 2022. Now, the next one, project number 2, which is going to be launching soon, probably in the end of August of this year, which is 2021. Hopefully we'll see how, because when you're creating something, it's like, painting a painting. You never know what's going to happen. So the idea is it's going to be like, again, not to give out too much information, it's going to be a research service for investors, for traders. The idea came to my mind when I was working with the analysts who are partners, like managing partners in my hedge fund. And I have a 50-50 partner in my hedge fund. And the idea came into my head that the research that we're doing on long-term investments in the world of stocks, in the world of venture capital, IPOs, in the world of private equity, etc. So we're doing a lot of research in the world of crypto, and so it's not like some Forex garbage. So it's going to be a really serious piece of, a really serious service for the same thing. So we are going to be basically using the information in our research for our hedge fund, and at the same time I'm going to be selling this information further on as well. So it's like, why not? If you have this information, why don't you sell it as well, which is an extra nice income. In this business, I have 2 partners, which usually I prefer to keep it down to 1, but they each own only 10% of the company. So I own 80% of this company, and 10% each goes to 2 analysts who are working with me. And but at least that's the deal so far. And the cost of this service is not going to be high. So it's something that is going to be on the quantity of the users where the big bucks are going to be coming from. The costs, we're still debating the costs, but roughly I would say about $70, maybe $50 to $80 a month. We'll see what our competition does. And the projected users by the end of 2022 is gonna probably reach around 10,000, which isn't difficult. It's quite optimistic, but I think we should be able to hit this benchmark. And therefore, obviously, anybody can do the math. And monthly revenue by the end of 2020 will be roughly $700,000. And my monthly income there's gonna be roughly 60% profit margin. For those of you who don't know what that is, profit margin is how much money of your revenue is your actual profit. So if you made $100 and your profit margin is 1%, you've made $1. So this is your profit, this is the money you can put in your pocket and go spend on a candy, on a piece of candy or whatever. If your profit margin is 90%, then $90 roughly is your profit that you can keep and do whatever you want with it. In this case, with this business, I believe that the profit margin is going to be roughly 60%, which is amazing in the world of big business. And that means that the profit per month will be my profit. Again, 80% of the company is going to be $336 per month just on this project. Therefore, the annual income comes down to $4,032,000 by the end of 2022. And the value of the company itself, again, my share, which is 80%, is going to be roughly around $14 million. The next one, the third one, something that all of you already know, and that is the Dubai hedge fund. Everything is in the process. It just takes a lot longer to find all the best routes and ways to do it. The profit by the end of 2020, it's most likely going to be below 250,000. A lot probably less, none of which will be withdrawn by either of the owners. Again, I have a partner in this. And the net worth of this project, this hedge fund thing, by the end of 2020 probably is gonna reach maybe $1 million. So so by the end of 2020, half of that net worth of this business, value of this business, is going to be obviously $500,000, which can be added to my net worth by the end of 2020. This hedge fund, it just is one of those long-term investments in terms of my time and a little bit of money as well. It's not something that you can turn into a digital product and then scale it within 3 months to a level of $500,000 income per month or something insane, you know. A hedge fund, first you need to get some assets under management. We'll start with some of our own money, maybe like $500,000 to $1 million. Then we're gonna work with that money. We're gonna invest that money using the analytics that we have and that we were able to put together. And only then we will start attracting more and more investors based on our track record. Here is what we did. We did 30% return with these kinds of risks. This is where we invested our money into. This is what we are looking to do, etc. So, and then on year 2, we might get a few $1 million. Year 3, we might get $10 million. But then this is when hedge funds and good investment projects start to take off like real fast. This is when we're gonna go mainstream, reduce the minimum check from $100,000 or maybe even from $200,000 down to maybe even something as low as $5,000 or $10,000. It's difficult to do it in a correct way, but it still is possible. And then we could take it mainstream, get licenses everywhere in Europe, United States, spend some money on it, but then we can get up to, you know, by the way, this is also interesting, by the 2025, this is the projection, by the end of 2025, so within 3.5 years, we could gather up to around $100 million under management. And when you go past that benchmark, or 100 mil under management, and again, this is gonna be, even if you do just 30% return per year on 100 mil, that's gonna be 30 million for your clients, and 30% usually, as a rule of thumb, is kept by the hedge fund, by the hedge fund managers, in this case us. Our profit is going to be 5 million per head per year, even with just 100 million under management. And when you can manage 100 million properly and you know how to manage your expenses and reduce expenses, you're going to get a lot faster. So I guess we could get to $1 billion, and this is going to be that $1 billion project. Everything else is just surrounding this main project and make sure that there is still a lot of money coming in while we are working on this biggest one. And the biggest one is the hedge fund. But again, it takes a lot of time, it's slow, it's a lot of bureaucracy. And while there is bureaucracy, I'm just creating a bunch of other stuff, which is, again, making millions. But perhaps the other projects, like my trading education, is hard to get it past $1 million a month. And when it's 10 million perhaps per year and 100 million in 10 years. When with a hedge fund you can make 100 million when you know what the hell you're doing within just a few years, and then, you know, sell it off and just completely retire pretty much almost like a billionaire. And this is where we are going, and then keep other projects and develop them, and plus create new ones. So that's the idea with the hedge fund. Also, by the end of 2020, it is going to be starting and ramping up, but then it's going to be taking off a lot faster. Project number 4 that is currently in the making. We are already working with the IT guys, both in terms of the creation of the coin itself, as well as the website, all the legal stuff, etc., white paper, and the concept and the project. And obviously that is something that you've heard before if you're following me real closely on social media. And by the way, follow me on Instagram. And that is going to be our own cryptocurrency. So there is going to be a coin which is going to be launched by me and my partner. So we are also going to be 50-50 in this business. And again, it's hard to project anything in the world of cryptocurrencies and how it's going to work, because again, we are facing a lot of difficulties in terms of the code and the whole project and how it works and the ecosystem of the coin itself. Because again, it's not going to be a pump and dump bullcrap meme coin. There's going to be a really interesting project that is going to be investing into the digitalization of education. That's our main business. Again, this is something we understand, and taking these and helping the world take the first steps into the world of digital education and making it possible for people to do everything from home, including learning, because everything is going in terms of the technology. Everything is going in the direction of sustainability and the ability of doing these things from home. So you can order food to your house in Dubai. You can order petrol. Somebody comes and fuels up your car. Then you can learn on the internet, but mostly it's just courses and overall education, some university courses, but it's not very developed. And again, phones, Zooms, and everything that humanity has done to digitalize our world. There is a huge market also for digital education, and this is our business of our cryptocurrency. So there's going to be a lot of intrinsic value behind each single token that there is, and it's going to be capped, and it's not going to be like we're going to be diluting our investors with more coins, or dumping all of them, or holding 50% of the coins to ourselves, which is just a red flag for any cryptocurrency as a rule of thumb. So we want to do a really nice project that is actually going to have an impact, but of course will make us some money as well. But it's not going to be part of this projection of 2022. We just hope that we're going to launch it. We're going to launch this project probably by the end of 2021. And then we'll see. I mean, it's hard to attribute anything to my net worth just based on the current stage of this project, so it's not going to be part of this projection. Then number 5 is the project that we are not working on yet, but we will get to it probably this year, and we'll launch it probably next year. And that's going to be another course, another piece of education for the world, and that's going to be about mentality. I know a lot of guys, and I have a lot of friends from all kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of social classes. I've never discriminated anybody, and I'm mostly interested in people. When I'm talking with them, when I'm going fishing with them, I'm interested in the individual, not his net worth. So there might be a guy with me who doesn't have money to pay for pizza if we order it, So when we go out, but he's a really interesting guy to talk to, and we're just sitting there fishing, smoking a cigar, whatever. But oftentimes when I meet a lot of my friends and I hear them talk, I realize that their mentality is just completely off. They do not believe in themselves. They do not believe that the better life exists. They think that money is evil and that the opportunities are non-existent, which is not true. I mean, I've been poor at some point. Once in my entire life, I was actually homeless, literally. Believe it or not, it's up to you, but I didn't have a place to live. It was a short period, but it's true. So theoretically, I can put that check mark. I was homeless at some point. But I always believed in myself. So there are certain tricks, and Sophia helps me with that as well very much. And follow her as well on Instagram. Quite an interesting girl. And this is something that can resonate with a lot of people and be actually useful and helpful for people to at least feel better, to try to achieve something, to be more open-minded. It's not magic. It's just programming your mind in a direction that helps you to actually perceive things for what they are and see the opportunities and not shrug them off as something that is impossible. So, and I want to do this in a collaboration with my production company, with all the people whom we're going to produce, whom we're going to work with. And I have a lot of friends from the world of investments, from hedge funds. I have friends in venture capital. I have friends who own big holding companies, fintech businesses, etc. So a bunch of people who will come together and will create a huge project that when people participate, they are going to get a chance to learn a little bit from each single one, and etc. So it's going to be an amazing thing. And again, the income here is not going to be very huge. It will be our job to use our knowledge and scale it like crazy. That's the idea. And the idea here is that we are not going to make too much money in the beginning, and it's not that huge of a project. I think my ownership of this one is going to be roughly 30% because we're going to have a bunch of people in there, but since I'm the organizer of everything, I'm going to have ever so slightly bigger share. Monthly income by the end of 2022 is projected to be around maybe $100,000 a month. So my cut will be $30,000, but still it is annual income of $360,000 extra per month. And the net worth, the value and the worth of my share of the company will be valued at around $1.2 million, something like that. The next one, which is gonna be number 6, and I just lied to you. There are 7 projects that we're currently working on. Not 6, but actually 7. So number 6 is going to be one more educational program, like a course as well, you could call it. Without going into too much detail, it's going to be also part of like mental mentorship, but for women and partially for men as well, actually. There seems to be quite a few psychological and mindset problems among women nowadays, unfortunately, that I believe that is possible to solve with the help of licensed practitioners, licensed female coaches, etc. So I want to put together a few minds together to create a really interesting project that will help the female society and our loved and beloved women to overcome certain difficulties that, without going into too much detail, I think that there is a lot to do here and to provide value to the world. In this project, I'm going to have one main partner, but by the way, it's going to be absolutely epic. I mean, there's going to be a lot of intrinsic value. It's going to be super helpful, and really, I believe in this. When I'm doing something like this, I really, truly believe in the value and the worth of this project in general. But jumping a little bit ahead, it's going to be the most controversial freaking project you've ever seen in the world of coaching. So it's going to be something insane, and probably it's going to launch in the end of this year or beginning of the next year. We'll see what happens. But it will be very controversial, very helpful, a lot of haters, a lot of fans. It's going to be nuts, and it's going to make a lot of money real fast. So monthly income projected by the end of 2020 is going to be roughly $500,000 a month. And my share is going to be around $250 per month, so $250,000. And the annual income obviously is going to be $3 million, my share. And the net worth of the business, again, $21 million, give or take. And my share is going to be $10.5 million. So that's the idea. And then the last project, which is number 7, I don't know how I miscalculated them, but number 7 is going to be the app that I'm working on for traders. There are a few things that there could be really interesting solutions for active traders to make their life a lot easier in terms of the research, as well as in terms of the technical aspects of using the charts. And we're currently having discussions with a few IT companies that could help me out with this, but it still is in the very beginning. So probably I'm gonna be diving into it more next year. But again, and no projections in terms of the worth. Maybe it's not gonna work, maybe it will, we'll see. The investment is not gonna be very big, maybe up to $100,000 it will all cost to create and market and try. But still, as an announcement, so all of you know exactly my path to $1 billion. Obviously, you can see that many projects will be launched by the end of 2020. All of these, all 7, will be launched by the end of 2022. In that time, I'll have 8 active multi-million-dollar businesses. 8. So from an active trader to entrepreneur, investor, businessman, coach, etc. is just pretty crazy. Obviously, my net worth, the projection of my net worth, if all of this happens, I'm pretty sure it will, give or take 20%, 30% here and there, whatever. I mean, it's difficult to predict precisely, but this is what I see that the market is ready to handle, what my team is capable of handling, and our finances are more than capable of producing these results. So my net worth, as you might remember, projection by the end of 2021 was at $29,128,000, so call it $30 million. And my net worth monthly income projection by the end of 2021, as mentioned in the previous video, probably is going to be a little over $500,000 a month. So annual one, little over $6 million. And my net worth projection of the end of 2022, boom, 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 is going to be, if everything works out, and it will 100%, it will be around $85 million, 410,000. So call it $85 million. So my net worth in 18 months is projected to be around 85 million. This is a big step, and this is going to be taking me a lot closer to $1 billion than I am today. And hopefully then we'll start talking about reaching the mark of 250, then 500, and then you'll probably start reading about me from some Forbes magazine instead of YouTube. Well, I'm just kidding. I'll always be on YouTube. I enjoy it. I love it. Sitting here at night and just recording awesome videos. So yeah, 85 mil by the end of 2022 is the projection, and annual income, so income per year, and again, net after all expenses, taxes, everything, is projected to be around $22,337,000 per year, which takes it per month after all expenses 1.861. So $1,861,000 per month will be my monthly income by the end of 2022, which is by the end of 2022 again. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned for this, because each single project is gonna be announced separately, discussed separately. I'm gonna show exactly how I did it, why I did it work or it didn't work. So let me know in the comments if you think I'm gonna reach 85 mil by the end of 2022. I really would like to know your opinion. If you believe in me, do you believe in this guy right here to hit 85 mil? I'm pretty sure that we can do it, and perhaps $1 billion by the end of 2025. What do you think? It's gonna be 3.5 years? Maybe very optimistic, but who knows, maybe 2027, maybe 2029. Let me know your thoughts. Or by 2030, what do you say? Projection of Thomas Corallo being a billionaire by 2030. Because think about it, but these kinds of incomes, I mean, it's annual income of 22 million per year. $1 billion isn't really that far away, especially remember that all of these projects still are going to be developing, and I'm going to be doing a lot of active investing with my own money, and none of this includes my current crypto portfolio, which is doing really well, mentioned in previous videos as well, and any new ideas that will develop. And I mean, it's going to be a huge company. It's going to be Corallo Industries Corporation Incorporated, etc. So we're going to get very big very soon, and we'll see how it goes. So, and again, I'm not doing any of this to show off or brag or whatever. Get inspired. If you're hating me, if you're doing whatever, just unsubscribe. I don't know. And go live your miserable life. Don't hate, because this is not to show off. This is, a lot of people are on a daily basis sending me messages. Thomas, thank you so much for inspiring. I got a new job. I changed this. Now I finally have the strength to believe in myself. And this is the reason why I do all of this, why I record these videos. And of course, as being a part of my journey to $1 billion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I know that it is quite optimistic, but again, if I achieve even half of this, it still is gonna be pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure that you will agree that even half of 85 mil will be really nice within the next 18 months. And the good thing is that I know exactly how to get there. And it started with small things, small steps with active trading to build the capital, start doing long-term investments, create my own education, and then find new opportunities, new doors to knock on, to knock down, and make even more money and scale it all just infinitely. Please like this video, show me your support. Peace and love, Thomas Corallo. Let's get to the $1 billion together. Cheers.